Welcome to American Whiskey. As always, I'm your favorite host in the whole entire world, Big Sturge. Alongside of me here, we've got Justice League. And you guys will probably recognize D.A. Roberts.
Hello.
And our buddy Robbie.
What's up?
I got it right. Both former law enforcement officers.
He's still current. I'm still current.
Okay, still current. I couldn't remember. That was a year ago. So we're going to be sipping on some whiskey, listening to some stories about Bigfoot. And just hanging out with our friends. You guys have seen them on the podcast a couple different times, but it was about a year ago when we had you on live with us, in person. So we're glad you guys are here. Grab a whiskey, grab a beer, grab whatever it is you sip on. And lately, we've been really into wine. Check out burnedoutwinery.com. You can order from like 15, 20 different flavors. And it's incredible. Sit back, relax, and let's get started. Okay, Dylan, do you want to check, make sure we're good? Okay, so, all right. So, DA,
Yes, sir.
Robbie,
Yep.
I appreciate you guys hopping on here.
Hey, anytime, brother.
Last time we had a good time. I know we went a while last time.
Justice and I pretty much put a major dent in a quart-sized mason jar
dent?
of
A dent. We
You
killed
guys
it.
yeah.
drink
By
it all.
dent, I mean we basically killed
Well, the thing is, and this is what excites me this time. I know we've had you on.
it. And I'm sober this time.
You shouldn't be.
All right, well, give me time.
I know we had you on remote and everything, but last time when he did the interview with you guys, I sat out just so you guys could both sit in, and it'd be a cool thing. I'm excited for this.
Hell yeah, bro.
Yeah.
So,
We enjoy it.
let's we like to, and you guys will probably hear something if you're listening, a high pitched noise. It's not us, it's somebody down there. But we always, you guys have been on the podcast before. You guys know what we like to do. We like to get on here and talk about what we're sipping on. And we had the pleasure of our buddy DA brought down a good bottle of Truman Reserve bourbon.
So DA knows more about this company. He knows the distiller.
Okay. Do you want to talk about that?
Sure. It's distilled out of Clinton, Missouri. Met the master distiller at a bourbon tasting at a liquor store in Springfield, Missouri. And he asked me if I was a bourbon guy. I said, oh, yeah, I love bourbon. He said, well, you need to try this. And, I was like, okay, I'm always down for a free shot. So he pours me a generous measure. And, we usually do a tasting. You get, like a shot glass full if you're lucky.
Yeah.
He pulled me about 3 really good fingers of bourbon
That's a
in a
generous
good-sized
pour.
glass. It was a very generous pour without any ice in it. Initially, you notice it does have just a hint of a bite to it, but then that smokiness and the smoothness of it goes out. And I was stunned to find out that this was actually distilled in Missouri. The distillery has not been in business all that long, but they've won numerous awards, including awards over well-known bourbon distillers out of Kentucky and Tennessee.
Okay.
And I was shocked to hear how many awards it had won. But after I tried it, I was hooked and ended up buying a bottle on the spot. And that bottle I brought to you, I think, is number 6 or number 7 that I've bought since I met the guy.
If you're buying 6 or 7 bottles of the same thing, it has to be a good sip.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I noticed
And
this.
I would put it on par with, as far as smoothness and taste, I'd say on the level of about a Woodford Reserve.
I like the price tag too, $29.99. You
Well,
can't beat that.
So, Sturge, this is going to be your freaking bread and butter. It's cheap, $29.99. It's 80 proof. Like, this is everything you look for in a whiskey.
Yeah, I like the price tag. I like to find a good priced whiskey that you can enjoy every single day after a long day of work. So let's get a sip of it and see
Robbie,
what we
have
think.
you had this yet?
Nope. First time.
So 3 of us first time.
Yep.
Cheers, boys.
Slunge.
Cheers, fellas. Oh, smooth. Oh, that's good.
Robbie, you're a shot taker, aren't you?
He just knocked it back.
I mean, this is smooth. This is really,
You
really
put a glass
good.
that size in front of me, that's just what my brain defaults to.
Yeah,
All right, now I'm trying the little tricks.
I can take this as a
That
shot.
was good. Now see if it opens up any flavors.
I've never tried it with ice, but I've had it with. I just one night just on a lark to see what it would be like. I made a bourbon and Coke with it. And it was outstanding.
That's one of my favorite drinks is a soda with a little whiskey.
Mhm.
You know, and that's why I always chase for an affordable bottle because no one wants to buy a $60, $70 bottle. You get a Woodford. You don't really want to mix it with something Coke because it's too expensive. But you can go get a good sipping bottle for a good price. You can make a cocktail out of it.
Oh yeah.
You're not ashamed to do it because of the price tag. That's a 10 out of 10. It smells amazing. I get like I don't know if it's appley or like some sort of like
It's probably apple wood in the process.
yeah, maybe yeah.
I get it. I think it's very heavy corn.
Oh, for sure.
And there might, I could be totally wrong here. There might be some rye in there.
There is. I've seen it on the website. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. Does it tell you the percentage?
I think the other one did.
It's a unique blend of corn rye.
It, like DA said, it's a newer company, so it's not on Breaking Bourbon yet, which would have had all the details. I'll still look and see if it is.
Is it a 17-year exam?
No, it's undisclosed.
Okay, undisclosed. Okay, got it. We're just trying to look up a couple facts about it.
If it's on here, then we'll have a lot more reviews.
I'd like to know because you do get it, but it's not too spicy. I wouldn't think it's a heavy rye, but you definitely get some rye in it.
They've got a Facebook page, Truman Reserve does. If you want
Okay.
to follow it. I don't know if it is commercially available outside of Missouri yet, but you can pretty much find it at any grocery store back home.
Yeah, it's incredible.
I'm telling you now, it's probably still very local.
Yeah,
because if you ever want to see anything about a bourbon, go to Breaking Bourbon. They have probably close to 1 million bourbons on here, and they don't have anything on it.
Really? That's kind of surprising. And it is, like I said, it's fairly new. I think I heard about it for the first time, I think it was last summer.
I'll tell you right now, I wish we had this here.
Well, it's one of those things, DA. If it's that new, I would probably stock up on a couple bottles that said "do not touch" because this could be an allocated.
It says
bottle
on their website it's sold out.
Yeah, I've got an unopened bottle at the house on my liquor shelf. Actually, I had two unopened bottles, but I brought this one to share with y'all.
Well, I appreciate
And
it.
when I get back to town, I'll probably pick up a couple more just to put on my shelf.
Well, grab one from me.
I can do that.
Grab one from me, and I got a hoodie coming to you. How about that?
I can do that, brother.
Well, he's gonna have a couple bottles coming to him
Oh,
because
that's true.
we made a promise that didn't come to fruition, but
True.
it still might.
So we're here at the Bigfoot Festival. Let's talk about some Bigfoot. You guys want to talk about some Bigfoot?
Sounds good to me.
I'm gonna let you two take over on that, and let's hear what you guys got to say.
Well, I was trying to think of something off the top of my head that we'd done since we'd talked with you guys last and hung out. And I think what we should probably talk about is Moon Valley
Which time?
when we were docked.
Yeah, that was a interesting experience for sure.
Why don't you start us out, brother?
Talking.
So, for anybody that doesn't know, Moon Valley is it's pretty close to Bennett Springs in Missouri. DA, you correct me if I get off on the directions because I ain't from Missouri, but I feel like I know enough about it now and kind of talk about it comfortably. But anyway, it's pretty close to Bennett Springs
On the Niangua River.
on the Niangua River. It's been featured in several of DA's books. And there's a reason for that because it's a pretty creepy place. And so DA and I had already been there. He'd taken me down there a couple times before, but our buddy Doc hadn't been down there. So when it worked out where all of us were there, we got to take Doc to Moon Valley. So we went first that night before it got dark. It was kind of still mildly creepy because it's getting close to dark, but nothing major at that point. So DA said, well, let's drive on up to Bennett Springs and let's look through Bennett Springs first, and by the time we start, we'll come back around. So we come back around, and Doc had brought most of his kit. He had thermal and IR and all that kind of stuff. And so we got there, and it was, I want to say it's probably about 10:30, 11 at that time.
Yeah, it's pretty close, getting close to midnight.
So it was good and dark. And so we get out, we start getting our gear ready and all that stuff. And DA says, well, I think I'm going to do a tongue pop, which, we've theorized that some of the things that people call wood knocks, I don't think Bigfoot's walking around the woods with a Louisville slugger.
Yeah.
If you've ever walked in the woods and tried to pick up a stick that's on the ground, most of the time it falls apart because it's been on the ground and it's started to decay. So, DA can do a tongue pop, and it's especially if it was a good ways away in the wood. And he can do it a lot louder than that, believe me.
Oh yeah.
And so he said, "Well, I'm gonna do a tongue pop." Do a tongue pop, nothing, no response. So Doc can, what type of owl was it?
It was a West Coast owl. I don't know which one it was.
He'd done some research, and he did a couple of owl calls that weren't indigenous to the area. I had to throw that big word in there to make Doc proud of me.
I'm proud of you too, Rob.
I don't even know what it means.
It means they want from around there. I have a habit of taking $20 words and making change out of them.
I like
There you
that.
go.
So a couple of those, nothing. I did a whoop, nothing.
Let me hear.
Yeah.
Let me hear a
Go ahead.
whoop.
You say you interrupt or something?
No.
He said you want to hear.
Let me hear a whoop.
Oh, I can't do it in here. I can't do it.
Come on, DA. Let me hear one.
Robbie does the whoops. I do the tongue thing.
That's not the fun part. The fun
All
part's coming.
All right.
We don't hear anything off of any of those responses. So DA standing beside me, and I said, I want to try something different. He said, what are you going to try? And I said, I want to do a howl. And not like a wolf howl, but like, something that sounds like a sort of human type thing doing a howl. So, I did my little breath thing, got my lungs filled up and everything, and did just a long kind of guttural. Tried to mimic the best howls I've heard on werewolf movies as I could. And the second that I finished, we get an exact copy of Doc's owl call in response to that.
Wow.
I don't know about y'all, but I've been in the woods a lot, and I've never heard an owl respond to a wolf.
No.
So we're all kind of looking at each other going, well, that's different. So
Did it mimic you?
it mimicked the owl calls that Doc had done like a minute and a half to 2 minutes before that.
It mimicked them perfectly.
So, and like we said before, nobody's experts on this, but we had our little, and I'll get on with the rest of the story in a minute, but after our little after action report, so to speak, when we were sitting there talking about it later on, we kind of theorized that, maybe we came in there and it sounded like a challenge, a territorial challenge.
Territorial challenge, yeah.
Maybe a dog man challenge it. And because what we got responses for, we're pretty sure is Bigfoot, because Doc saw something on thermal that night. And Doc he's had plenty of paranormal and supernatural type experiments.
And he's a combat veteran, so he's generally pretty unshakable.
But he's never had a cryptid experience until that night. So after all that starts happening, we start hearing a lot of activity. After we're hearing things moving around. We're hearing limbs breaking. We heard a couple splashes in the river on both sides of us. So Doc starts getting his kit on. He starts putting his thermal and everything on. Well, of course, me and my other unintelligent brother here decide we're going to start walking up the hill a little ways, see if we can figure out where some of these tree breaks were coming from, or the branches snapping, whatever.
And incidentally, Robbie and I tend to be the less cautious of the group.
Yeah.
Robbie and I will go look when good sense says you probably shouldn't.
So
Someone's got to.
Yeah, exactly.
So Noah and Doc are standing back there at the vehicle, and what'd you say? We were at this point 20, 30 yards away from them?
Oh, we were more than that. We were probably almost 50 yards away from them.
So we were a good ways away from them. Well, Doc turns around and flips his thermal on, and in front of now we never saw the thermal image because he didn't have anything.
Any way to
This
record
was
it.
on his helmet and everything, so he didn't have any. He's got one now that he can put on a phone and transfer the image to that. But what he had before or that night was just what your standard nods, night observation devices. So he flips them on, looks up ahead of me and DA, and he sees two big figures. And he said at least 7.5 to 8 feet tall. Now, of course, it was going uphill, so they could have been taller, could have been shorter, but he said they were at least 7.5 to 8 feet tall, kind of behind the trees.
Tree peeking.
Yeah, kind of looking at me and DA.
What'd you call it?
Tree peeking.
Yeah. And while he was looking at it with thermal, They weren't moving. They were just standing there watching me and DA. He flips on his IR that's on the side of the nods, and as soon as he flipped the IR on, he said they started moving, trying to get behind the tree and acting like they were trying to hide. So
We're fairly certain they can see in the IR spectrum.
What's IR?
Infrared.
Okay.
I mean, it's not far fetched.
yeah,
Well,
I
we
mean,
know plenty of animals that
deer
can see
can see in
IR.
it, you know.
Deer can, wolves can. There's any number of species that are capable of
Right.
seeing it.
And typically anything that's got night vision would probably make and is more nocturnal than it is out during the day would probably have the ability to see in that spectrum.
So what are they seeing?
What's that?
You said they can see infrared.
Yeah.
Seeing that spectrum. Deer
I
can
think
see it.
I think that they can see in the spectrums we can't. The human eye can only see about less than 10% of the available light spectrum.
Wow.
And think about you. I'm sure
I
you've
didn't
seen.
know that.
I'm sure you've seen videos of deer looking straight at a trail cam at night when it flashes the picture. Like you might see one picture with them looking down, and then the very next
they're
picture
looking right at
they're
it.
looking right at it.
Yeah.
Because as soon as that infrared flashes,
Yeah.
they see it and they turn around and look at it. So the next picture is them looking straight at the camera. So that's what we kind of theorized that they can see in it. Because as soon as he flipped that on, he said he got a reaction from. Because before that, they were just watching. So as he's still trying to process what he's looking at. And, of course, me and Goofball here are still walking towards him. He hears something off to our right, and he turns around and looks, and he sees another flash on the thermal like it's coming down beside us.
Yeah, it has paralleled us in the woods and gone behind a berm and was trying to get between us and the truck, and it almost did it.
Yeah. So at that point is when he said, boys, get back down here. And DA stopped, and he said, turn your flashlight on. And DA flashed his flashlight. And as soon as he flashed the flashlight, we see two sets of eye shine right at those trees, right exactly where Doc was looking at it. And he says, get back down here now. He says, you got one on your right trying to flank you. So we start easing back down.
We cleared leather
Yeah.
first, and then
Yeah.
we started.
DA turned around, facing, turned to the right, basically, covering that. And I started walking backwards, and he just reached up and grabbed the back of my shirt so I could walk backwards, and he could lead me. And we got back to the vehicle, and then it really we started hearing a lot more activity, a lot more branches,
Heard
grunts.
things walking in the water on
Yeah.
the river. They're outside of range of any of our
And
scopes.
outside of we've all been in the woods. You can hear 4 legs versus 2 legs.
Oh yeah, you can easily tell the difference. What we heard going through the water sounded like one of us would sound like walking through 3 foot of water.
Right.
It sounded like something with 2 legs, splashing
Splashing
through very
the
cold
river.
water, because that's all spring fed. And this was second week of January,
Yeah, something like that.
so that water was cold. If it'd been you or I in that water, we'd have had hypothermia in minutes.
It was fairly cold that night too.
Oh, it was below freezing. It was probably low 20s.
So they're probably, what is that, warm-blooded?
I'd definitely be warm blooded.
Yeah.
Well, especially if they live outside and everything, they're going to be used to that environment.
Yeah.
So what do you say, like when you hear this story, you tell this story, right? You have people that are probably going to listen or hear it, and they're thinking bullshit,
Oh,
Right.
yeah. I mean,
right?
we deal with skeptics all the time. I mean,
But it's interesting because it's different when one person is by themselves sharing a story. You add another person and another person, you got 3 people.
yeah, we had
How do you discount?
4 out there that night. that
Okay,
heard.
so
Yeah.
then all 4 of you experienced this?
Mhm.
How do you, American history was all based off of hearsay for the most part,
Yeah.
because they didn't have, footage cameras, that kind of stuff back then. We went off portraits, drawings. We went off of
Eyewitness testimony.
eyewitness. You look at the Bible and you look at that kind of thing, and it's nothing but eyewitness
Right.
accounts, right?
Right.
So I find it interesting. It's not like DA, you were out there by yourself sharing this story. Robbie, it wasn't like you were out in the woods by yourself. It's 4 of you, and I'd be curious to hear the other 2 people on their side of it.
Well, when we got back to we dropped after we were all done that night. We dropped DA and Noah back off at their house, and Doc and I went back to our hotel rooms. I went to his room first, so we kind of decompressed, because, like I said, that was his first
Yeah.
actual encounter. And
Was he shook?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, and Doc's not somebody who's shakeable. Trust me, Doc's one of the coolest headed people you'll ever meet in your life. But, and I'm not gonna say he was scared out of his mind or anything like that, but you could tell that
It shook him.
yeah, it was an experience.
He had a paradigm shift, if you will.
Yeah.
So we get back, and he's kind of pacing back and forth, and this we've since joked about it on the show, and if I had a nickel for every time in his hotel room within 45-minute span I heard "Thermal don't lie," I'd probably be able to retire right now, because that he was. But you've heard that when people are kind of, and I don't want to say he was in shock, but you kind of focus on one thing, and that's just
PNS backlash.
I mean,
Yeah.
I guess I wouldn't call it him being a skeptic, but what is he the type of person that I believe it when I see it, and then all of a sudden he was like, "Oh shit, it's real."
Like I said, he's already had plenty of paranormal
Right.
experiences, things like that. So Doc was never like one of those that said it doesn't exist. He's just like, I believe it does. I believe there's enough evidence, but I want to see for myself. And I don't think it was because he thought it was BS until I find it. I think he just wanted to have his own experience.
Right.
And he got it that night. And it's one of those things where he was just like, this is great. I love this. Because you're going to have one or two reactions when you see something like that or have an experience like that. Either one, you're going to be like us and say, okay, that was cool, I want to go back. Or you're going to have people like he knows that have been deer hunters their entire life and had an experience, and they turn around and sell their stuff and never go back in the woods again. So you're going to have one of those two responses when something like that happens.
It's fight or flight.
Yeah. Exactly. And
some people just can't handle that everything they believed was reality was not. That, suddenly they're faced with the existence of something they refuse to believe existed.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, it's one of those things like they say, how many parts of the ocean's unexplored?
95%.
Yeah,
of it.
And then
we've
they say
explored like
all this
5% of
stuff
the
doesn't
ocean.
exist. How do you know?
Yeah.
What-
When you've only explored 4 to 5% of the ocean, how do you
DA's
know it doesn't exist?
DA's got a very good analogy for that, just about the ocean. He always says this. I'll let you say it. It's yours.
What I say is, for people that may have gone deer hunting in the woods and explored a little bit into the woods, we're not talking about going days out in. They're from the pickup, they go into their deer stand, and that's where they hunt every year. For the people that do that and then say, well, I've been in the woods all my life and I've never seen Bigfoot, so it doesn't exist. It's like walking up to the ocean with a teaspoon and picking up a teaspoonful of water and saying sharks don't exist because there's none in this teaspoon.
That's a good point.
Yeah, and that's what we kind of base a lot of our stuff on is because I've been a deer hunter all my life. I've hunted in like 5 spots. I'm almost 51 years old. So for me to say, because I haven't seen, I've never seen a grizzly bear in any of the spots that I hunt in. Does that mean grizzly bears don't exist because I haven't seen them in that part of the woods that I hunt?
It's we have that in Ohio here. We have bobcats, and I've been a big avid squirrel hunter for a long time. And I've hunted coon, and I've been out in the woods when I should see bobcats. Never seen one. But
So
does that mean that they're not in Ohio?
did you know there
Exactly.
actually used to be a couple in Springfield?
There are still.
So
It's not there. It's not that there's a couple. There are bobcats
So
in Springfield.
I was driving. It was when I worked second shift. I was driving home from work one day, so it was dark out, and right over there by the reservoir,
Yep.
you kind of go up a hill. I was halfway up this hill and just saw this bobcat fly across the road. And I got home, and my cousin's like, "Dude, you seem shook. What's up?" I was like, "I'm 99% sure I just saw a bobcat like 0.2 miles down the road."
But you don't see them often, and there's plenty of them though.
And he was like, in Springfield, no way. I was like, dude, we might want to do
They're
some
there.
research because we let our dogs out every night. I was like, this is a little eye opener right now.
Well, it's a lot of things. There's a lot of things out there that don't want to be seen. That's why they call it hunting,
Right.
right? How many times do you go deer hunting? I would say 8 out of 10 times that I go deer hunting, I don't see a deer.
Yeah,
Exactly.
you get skunked. It
And
happens.
by the
Does
same
that mean they're
token,
not there?
have you ever shot a
they're
deer
there.
that you didn't see it move before you actually saw it?
I've never. Okay, the moments that I have seen deer, and I've been more an avid night hunter, so I've always done coyotes and coons, and then daytime squirrel hunting. But the moments that I've been in the woods and I've seen a deer, I have always been alarmed every second that I've seen one because I've hardly ever heard them coming through, or two, I look to the left and there's one, or I look to the right, boom, there's one. What the hell? So, and I think a lot of people I've done a lot of research since I talked to you boys last time, because my biggest question is, if there's Bigfoot, how many were in that woods that night? Do you think?
Well,
How many guys were?
There was 3 of them.
A
because
minimum of 3.
So a minimum of 3.
And then we could hear movement in the water of ones we couldn't see.
So the question that that lied in my mind after we talked to you boys last Bigfoot festival was, if there's all these Bigfoot in different areas, why don't they want to be seen? Well, I started thinking about it, and I'm like, we live in Springfield. How many times have you seen a bobcat? How many times, do you go deer hunting and get completely pissed off because you just spent 11 hours of your day and didn't see one? Well, I guarantee they're there.
Mhm.
So how is it really that? How many acres are we talking of forest where you guys are at?
Well, that's
Out in Moon Valley, the valley itself is probably half a mile wide by about 7 miles long.
It's not that hard to hide.
Yeah,
No.
especially considering how dense the woods are.
Yeah.
You get more than 10 feet off the road, you're gone.
And if you've been around for a long time and they've been able to adapt to that area, they know that area better than the two of you.
Oh,
Exactly.
yeah, guaranteed.
Well, it's like in the United States, how many national forests are there that parts of it's undiscovered because how dense it is and people just can't get there?
Well,
Funny
we
you
did a
should
deep
mention
dive.
that.
We did a deep dive on that one time and discovered that there are 88.5 million acres in the National Park Service, and we're only allowed access to maybe 10% of that.
Right.
Now, but
Allowed,
when you
why?
add in not only national parks, but add in state parks, wildlife management areas, public use areas, other areas that the government controls, like Bureau of Land Management areas, and throw in Native American lands where, again, we're not allowed access to. You add all those up, it comes to more than 1 billion, and I mean billion with a B, square acres that are undeveloped, and we don't get full access to.
It's crazy to think about it because
So what could hide in over 1 billion acres?
Over 1 billion acres.
what can't?
Exactly.
Yeah,
You
the
could
Mark
hunt-
Twain National Forest alone in Missouri is 2.5 million acres.
You could hide a Boeing airplane and not find that shit.
Yeah,
Exactly.
And I'm sure
Like-
there's airplanes in there that no one's ever
wouldn't
found.
surprise me.
Yeah. So I went to Minnesota.
Good.
Yeah. I've been to. I went to Minnesota with my grandpa one time, and the locals there. It took about an hour boat ride to get to this island, and it was super remote. There's no electricity out there, and there's a section of this island where they're like, people aren't allowed there. I was like, they're not allowed. Well, you're allowed, but people don't go. I was
Yeah.
like, well, why is that? Because people have weird experiences. Well, my grandpa's friend, he's older, but he's in great shape. He said, well, let's go over there and check it out. We'll wait till it gets dark. We'll go over there and check it out. Once your grandpa's in bed and everyone else is asleep, we'll go out there and mingle. So we're walking out there one night, and the sounds that we heard and the feeling that you felt, not in the woods, in this certain area. We didn't know necessarily where it was. We knew what direction it was. But when we get back that night, we look at this map, and we had the guide there that showed us where this area is, and that's exactly where we were. And we didn't know when we got there, but you could feel it. Everything changed in the woods. There was at one point where no sounds were happening. None. When I
I've
tell you,
experienced that in the woods, that's terrifying.
if you go into the
Yeah,
woods at night
you're
and you
hearing
don't
something.
hear shit, there is something not right. Something's just, but then you walk 100 yards out the other way and boom, it's alive.
Yep.
Why is that?
You know, I went down to a BFRO event where I taught some tracking down there.
last year.
Last year's, and and it was off the Niagara River. Surprise, surprise. And there was it had just rained a couple of days before that, so there was a lot of big puddles and things like that around. So the tree frogs were out at this time, and there was over next to the boat ramp in the little bonfire area, you can hear tree frogs going crazy in this area. But you walk back down the road and there's nothing. I mean, there's no crickets, there's no tree frog, and we actually saw the tree frogs,
Yeah.
but they weren't making any sounds. No owls,
Yeah.
nothing. And it's like you said, and I've experienced that
Why?
several times.
You
Well,
It's unnerving.
the first time he took me to Joe Ball, we got out, and he said, "So what do you think?" And I'm like, "It's like stepping out in a vacuum. There's
Yeah.
literally nothing. You couldn't hear anything."
Yeah.
You could
And-
hear like crows on the other side of the lake in the distance.
Yeah.
But right there in Joe Bald, nothing.
That's kind of how this area was. It was the creep, and it was even weird because like if you're by yourself, of course it's creepy, but you always feel comfortable when you're with somebody.
Oh,
and when
yeah.
that person's feeling the same thing, and he's like, "Hey, let's just head back."
And I'll do you one better than that. I was with Jessica Jones, the Cryptid Huntress. She's another friend of ours. Does another podcast. We were in North Georgia, up in the woods in North Georgia, and she took me up to an area where they've had some different sightings and some things like that. We walk about, I want to say it's about 30, 40 yards up a little hill. When it parked on the road, and it was kind of like a little flat area up on top of a little ridge. And you can look out and see the skyline of the city miles and miles away from where you're at. And we stood there, we kind of talking. I mean, it was like standing at a concert.
Right.
How loud the crickets and everything was
Yeah.
going. We were literally having to yell, and we were like literally 2 feet apart, having to yell so we could hear each other. So they weren't the insect, they weren't affected by us because we were talking loud.
Yeah.
And we were talking, and all of a sudden, everything just stopped.
Yeah.
I mean, just literally like, in a bar, the jukebox is playing, and somebody unplugs the jukebox, and everybody just stops.
Yeah.
That was what it was like. And we both looked at each other like, okay, what's going on?
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking at her, she's looking at me, and I saw something. I don't know what it was because it was, the dense woods back behind her. I saw something move behind her, and I'm like, Jessica, there's something behind you. And she's looking over my shoulder, and she said, there's something behind you. So we're sitting there just about 5-10 more minutes, and then all of a sudden she looks back down towards the car, and she said, I think we need to get back into the car. She said, I think there's something down there. So we didn't feel like they were trying to hurt us, but we did feel like maybe they were trying to cut us off from the car. So we walked back down the hill, get to the car. I got there first. I turned around to watch Jessica walk back down the hill. And as I looked up, I swear to God, as I look up and look over Jessica's shoulder, right where we're standing, I see a big shadow walk right next to where we were just standing. And I said, turn around. And she turned around and looked, and she saw it just as it disappeared into the trees.
Mm-hmm.
And judging, because we were just in that spot, this thing's at least 10 feet tall and probably about 2.5 to 3 feet wide. And it was upright on two legs.
Yeah. It's interesting you say, if you guys have ever, there's a difference between going into like a local woods or something, going out into nature where there's nothing around. When you were talking about how loud it is, I didn't realize how loud it was until I went to Minnesota. When we're sleeping in this cabin and it's so fucking loud outside, the crickets and all this stuff out in the woods, it's so fucking loud. It's almost insane. There was times when we were night fishing that we would have to talk loud to each other because nature is so loud at night.
Yeah.
That's exactly what
It wakes up at night.
Yeah, we were literally having to almost yell
Yeah.
to hear each other. And
I
then
mean,
all
have
of
you
a
ever
sudden,
had that
it
cricket
stops.
stuck in your house
Oh yeah,
and you hear that cricket super fucking loud?
it's so
put
annoying. You
billions
have to get out of bed.
Yeah, put billions of them inside the woods at one time, and it's just nature's way of talking and music and this. And when it's a dead stop and the noise, why? It's there's something, and I've never seen Bigfoot. I'm kind of interested in hearing this noise.
This
I mean,
noise, it happened near Robbie, so I'll let him set it up.
Okay,
And I'm going to set the mic down
Okay.
and prep it.
okay,
So we were on the show one night, and my old chief sent me a link to something, and this came off a doorbell ring camera.
okay.
It August of last year, I believe.
I think it was. Yeah.
August of last year, like maybe the 3rd, 4th of August last year. I don't remember exactly. But the Ring doorbell camera goes off at about 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, something like that. Well, you hear crickets and everything going crazy right next to it. But then there's a sound that's way off in the distance, and I'll let y'all hear it and make your own determination what you think it is. But a lot of people, first time they hear this, are like, okay.
Yeah.
So, and like I said, it's about 20 miles from my house.
Now, I'll tell you a little bit of setup on this. I took the original recording and I cropped out a lot of the extraneous stuff. Just started right before the recording. And what I didn't realize is I had my mic active at the time. So at the beginning of this, you're going to hear me go, "Here we go," and then you'll hear it. So I'm going to hit play and just let it speak for itself.
I'll let you listen to it in the headphones. After I listen to it, then you listen to it.
Y'all ready?
Yep.
There we go. Yeah. Now I'm more for the flavor too. Like this drinking Bud Light, I'm here to. It's like I didn't want to drink Bud Light. So I'm already having to keep your Bud Lights in the cold. I drank a couple last night. I went this morning to Walmart. I want to keep Bud Light. I'm like.
The screen.
You hear it?
Yeah.
6-pack or 12-pack. Now, 1 or 2 of them, and that was good because it gets you up there and it's got a good flavor.
It's like I don't understand.
Like a roar scream.
Yeah, it's weird.
Ready, dude? All right, here we go.
Yeah, I don't like beer at all anymore.
The eyes always tell the story when it goes. Even when I can't hear it, I know when it's playing.
That's weird.
So what do you
It's
boys
different.
think?
I don't know.
Play it again real quick.
Okay.
There we go. Yeah, I like the sweet one.
Now let's go.
Let me know when you're ready.
There we go. Our nephew turned 21.
But think about how loud that is, but how far, because you hear how
Yeah.
the crickets and everything are right
Yeah,
home.
I muted
But
all
to
of our
hear-
microphones and turned that all the way up.
But to hear that as loud, and
That's interesting.
that's some lung capacity.
So where was this?
About 20 miles from my house in Pickens County in South Carolina.
And you were with who?
Do what?
Were you by yourself or?
No, somebody got that off their Ring doorbell camera.
That was recorded off a Ring doorbell camera at a residence.
Can't make that up.
It's not far from my dad's house, and so me and my buddy Johnny, who is one of our buddies, he actually, when I first started my show, that I just kind of put to the wayside, we actually went out to my dad's house. He lives out in the middle of nowhere. Like I said, it's about 2 miles from his house. So we went out and actually stayed out about 2.5, 3 hours. We didn't hear anything, but it was it's eye opening.
It's
It
different.
is.
It's weird. It's unexplainable, but and I think in a lot of folks' eyes, and especially your guys' eyes, it's explainable.
We played that a few
Right.
times on our podcast on the Nightmare Hunter,
Mhm.
and we've had multiple people in the audience say when it was playing over the speakers, their pets got up and left the room.
And dogs
And dogs,
respond
dogs and
to it.
cats. One lady said her cats went under the bed and refused to come out. And other people were talking about their
Well,
dogs like fleeing the room.
I think just as you can say too, when I muted all the microphones and turned that up, it was very eerie.
Oh, it's very
It's
clear.
very eerie. It's very eerie. Like it
Whatever
was,
it is, has got tremendous lung capacity.
Well, whatever
Oh,
it is,
yeah.
I think what he said, it didn't seem happy.
No, it's definitely not happy.
And looking at a lot of the comments in the chat where Rodney pulled it off of, a lot of people were like, "Yeah, we hear that up here all the time."
Yeah, that's crazy.
And
Now, have you
that's-
heard that in person before?
Pickens is at the foothills of the Appalachians.
Yeah.
So and you've heard all the spooky Appalachian stories.
Oh, 100%.
So I mean, it just stands to reason. that Stuff like
Speaking
that's
of the
around.
Appalachian Trail, so I'm down 200 pounds, and my goal is to get skinny enough to do the Appalachian Trail.
Nice.
One day, someday, I will.
Our plan is I've got a Bose Bluetooth speaker,
Yeah.
and it's got beautiful sound.
Mhm.
Our plan is the next time we go out to Moon Valley is to play that at volume
Okay.
and to see what happens.
We know what happened when I did it. Now
So-
we want to see what happens when something
Yeah.
that's actually
maybe that's something we could do together. That'd be kind of cool.
Oh yeah,
That'd be
Yeah.
something cool to do. What time do you guys have your thing?
here in a few minutes.
Okay. So you guys want to get back on here this weekend?
Sure.
Yeah, let's
Anytime
let-
you want us.
So, guys, we're 40 minutes in. You heard this stuff. Go back and listen to that. Don't be around noise. Turn it up and listen to that. That was eerie. That gave me chills. So, as always, guys, Big Surge,
Justice League.
DA.
Robbie.
we're American Whiskey. What's your guys' podcast?
It's called the Nightmare Hunter Podcast.
Check them
It's
out.
every Wednesday and Saturday night at 8 p.m.
And I think Mondays now.
Mondays is Monday Mayhem, where we do a show
Okay.
about writing.
Yeah, I'm watching out. All right. So check them out, but we'll get back on here, and we look forward to it. Thanks, guys.
I found Bigfoot.